So let's just dive right in. Okay. Couple of things. So, number one, we just had a trailer yesterday. I want to talk about the first one that came out yesterday. Um, the trailer came out yesterday. It had been almost a year, a little after a year actually, that the first trailer came out, and we had seen very little press about it. And it finally dropped yesterday, as I said, and that is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. We finally got this trailer that everybody had been looking forward to, including myself. Um, I think this is, I've always said I thought this was going to be the number one movie this summer, um, just for a number of reasons. I mean, Tom Cruise's goodwill with Top Gun Maverick. It is part one of the last film. Ton of stuff. Um, and the trailer didn't disappoint at all. And so we got a couple of sequences in the trailer that we had seen before. Couple of signature shots, like Tom Cruise, Ethan running, down a a long hallway corridor type of thing. We got another couple of good shots of the antagonists and a couple proxies. Um, it just looks fun. It just looks fun, action packed, and I can't wait for this. And it's one of those things where, and I've said this before about Tom Cruise, he realized what he had with Top Gun Maverick, and obviously that was during the pandemic and everything else. But I think the big thing is that when you have a movie like that, and Cruise loves to do everything practically, we all know that. And that's why it was such a success. And I think that this is going to be huge. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. And so I really believe that um, I really believe it's going to be the number one movie this summer. I'm just fixated on this. I am doing a Mission Impossible rewatch series. Okay, I have gotten through the first two. I will be watching the third one, in the next couple of days, and I will be putting that up for you guys. The goal, what is going to happen is by the time July 14th comes out, but by the time it rolls around, you guys will be up to date. Will have watched, and you guys will hopefully have watched with me, my reaction videos and whatnot, rewatch videos, every single Mission Impossible film and how it's evolved and the different directors and the different secretaries and everything else. And so, yeah, this just looks stunning. So we're going to get to a movie in a couple minutes that's coming out this weekend, of course. And so, this is another big budget movie, right? But there's a difference between this kind of budget and what, you know, that movie is. And this is going to make its money back. I really believe. So it's interesting. Not one Mission Impossible film has ever hit $1 billion. Now, you've had a couple of the Fast and Furious movies hit $1 billion overseas, actually, not even here in the States. I really believe that this has the potential. I'm not saying it's going to be, do it right off the bat, but I think it has the potential to hit $1 billion. I really do. And even if it doesn't hit $1 billion, it could come close. By the time next, 2024 is done and we're done with these movies, Dead Reckoning, I think, is going to be one of the top two or three movies, of course, adjusted for inflation and everything else. One of the top two or three movies we're talking about worldwide net gross. I really, truly believe that. And so I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this movie. And if we don't get any other news between now and July 14th, I'm happy. I really am. Now, it's one of those things where you wait so long, they only give you a little bit. Well, that's the point. They're all breadcrumbs. That that this new trailer with a lot of visually, I got to say something else. Visually, it looks stunning. It looked absolutely stunning. A couple of the shots were just magnificent. Um, yeah, there's nothing much else to say about this. So I can't wait for this movie, and I'm sure there are millions of other people out there that are on the same boat with me. Okay, so we go from that trailer to a trailer that just dropped today, and this is a movie that everybody was looking forward to. And it's not coming out this summer, but it's coming out this fall. And I found the book, and I'm talking about Killers of the Flower Moon. So we got our very first trailer for Killers of the Flower Moon today. And wow, does it look good. Um, I'm it. There's no. I mean, and obviously, something to be said is too that I think that trailers can be very deceptive, right? Deceptive in the fact of not what's on the screen, but we have always seen movies, okay? Every single person has seen a movie that they say, "Oh, the trailer looks really good." And subsequently, they go and they see the movie and they go, "Ugh, what was that?" And so Scorsese is an absolute genius when it comes to not only putting together trailers, but putting together films. Now, this is based off of a a book, okay, as I just was showing, okay. So it is an adapted story, and I think that when you have the star power, okay, and we saw some of the star power in there, right? I mean, this is we have Robert De Niro, we have Jesse Plemons, we have Lily Gladstone, we have Brendan Fraser, we have, of course, our lead is Leonardo DiCaprio, that's worked with Scorsese on films such as Shutter Island, Wolf of Wall Street, things like that. It's an amazing. It just looks outstanding. And then you put two generations together, the younger man, the younger actor in DiCaprio, and the older generation in De Niro, and it just looks out of sight. Out of sight, out of sight, out of sight. Good. And the other thing I think that, we are, the one thing that I really liked about this trailer is that it didn't tell you too much, right? I mean, granted, this was a very first trailer. This was a very first trailer that just got you interested, okay? But I think the thing is, when you have a name like directed by Martin Scorsese, you know, I mean, Casino, Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, you don't need to, it's going to be. I mean, have there been movies that have not hit home, so to speak? Yeah, sure. Every director has a bad day at the office, but he doesn't care about reception. He cares about making the very best film he can. Okay. I mean, hell, he's even worked with Tom Cruise on, The Color of Money, one of the most underrated films in Cruise's career and Scorsese's career. Anyways, that being said, um, yeah, this looks really, and it's a murder mystery. It's a who done it. And the thing that you really, I mean, not a big proponent of them. I like them, okay, but even the voiceovers, right? It's one of those things where the voiceover has a lot to do with the actual film. The less that is said, the more. And I think that that's important because when you get to a point where, you have dialogue, and you're talking about all this stuff and everything else. It's just I don't um I don't like that. And I think that um I'm really, this is absolutely for award season. Don't kid yourself. The Scorsese is looking to clean up with some Oscars. Okay, and that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. And I think that when you see um, when you see that, and I mean, don't forget he was, Irishman garnered over 10 Academy Award nominations this, a couple years ago. So I mean, of course, that was Al Pacino. I mean, De Niro was in that. Joe Pesci. I mean, the man. I put Martin Scorsese on Mount Everest, Mount Rushmore, the Mount Rushmore of directors. Okay, I mean, you have Spielberg, you've got Scorsese, you've got, you know, I even put Cam in there just because of what he's done technologically, and somebody like Coppola, because Coppola, you know, um, it was. I mean, everybody knows him from The Godfather and The Godfather Part Two, and The Godfather trilogy, and that's understandable. But look at a movie like Dracula. It's completely off the different for him, but it was done so well. But getting back to Scorsese, he doesn't. I mean, he has literally changed cinema with the number of films. I mean, Spielberg and Scorsese, those two individuals, we need to appreciate their work now, because 5, 10 years from now, they're not going to be here, right? And we always look at the library of their work and go, it's so hard to pick a top 7 or a top 5, you know. Um, so it's one of those things where, you know, like The Wolf of Wall Street, for example, going back to that real quick, that's probably his sixth or seventh best film. It is, you look at Spielberg. Schindler's List is probably, in my eyes, it's his master class. But something like an E.T., that's top 5, but that's an amazing movie, you know. So we really have to cherish the um, the work that these guys do, because they're not going to be around forever. Anyways, guys, what do you think about these two trailers? And by the way, I will attach the links down in the description box for you guys to watch them if you haven't, or if you want to watch them again. Um, what do you think of these trailers? Which one of these two trailers are you looking forward to the most? Um, Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll get back to everybody.